So in today's video, I'm going to bring you along on how I do product photography for this beef jerky company. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. I have two options that I think I might do. So I'm either going to use my hot light or my speed light with the octobox that I have. And I'm going to set my camera up on a tripod, and what I'll be using, this is just what I'm guessing, is I'm going to use my 80D with a 50 prime on it because I think that's the sharpest lens. So I have that set up there, and yeah, here is the beef jerky right over here. I think I might try and photograph it here. I'm not too sure with the lighting setup, but yeah, gotta take pictures of each of those bags, get all the different flavors and things. So hopefully this will be kind of interesting for you guys. If not, maybe you'll learn something too. I might take you through the whole process of taking pictures in the Lightroom and then photoshopping them too. But yeah, I've been super busy taking a lot of dance pictures. That's kind of why I haven't been uploading so much, but I hope to get back to this. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright, so the problem that I see that's going to happen is I'm gonna get a lot of bounce light that's going to be green. So I'm actually going to go into the garage, which is, you know, completely controlled lighting. It's going to be super dark, but I think that will be the best and be easiest to photograph, so I don't have this weird color of bounce light, green light coming in. So we're going to move there. So instead of doing that, I'm actually going to try and do it right here. I have this little book to lift it off of the ground. So hopefully that will create separation so it's easy to cut out. So I'm gonna actually try this location first. And I just thought I'm actually going to put the grid on this, which will be the first time that I'm using it. That will just help allow all the light to be concentrated here, so there's no spill, so I won't get any other reflections from this light. So that's the first use that I'm ever going to use for the grid. So cool. So here are the flash triggers that I'm using. You just put one on the camera, and then one on the speed light, and then you'll be good to go. So this is how a grid works. You can see all the white light here, but then once I turn it, there's no light coming this way. So that will help eliminate that bounce and that reflective light. Try 1/16. See how that looks. That was better, but as you can see, there's just this crazy reflection. Oh my gosh. So I've imported all other photos into a new Lightroom catalog for Supreme Jerky, and I completely underexposed them. Like on the back of my camera I had it too bright, so I thought it looked okay, but it's underexposed by like 2.5 stops. So this is one that I've kind of done, not completely. And from also looking at this, I might have to just photograph the jerky outside of the bag and then Photoshop it in such a way that it looks like it's underneath plastic or something like that, because you can see this one, there's just a lot of oils and grease on the bag here. So those little spots there. So I've moved to the garage now to hopefully get a better setup. I have a lot more room now, and yeah, just gonna try taking pictures here. Gonna do the same thing where I photograph each of the bags, and then I'll probably have to take them out to get each jerky because of that oily greasiness happening. So yeah, this is the setup here, and we're just gonna continue to take pictures. Alright, so I've just tried with the lights off and back on, and there's no effect because I've set up my camera to not be affected by the ambient light. So what I have here is a little gray card, and I'm using that to white balance and also that to place my beef jerky. So I know exactly where to put it each time, and I'm shooting tethered, so now whenever I take a picture, I can just hit my computer screen and see it pop up here. That way I can see it big, check for peaking, the blacks or the white points. And yeah, this is working a lot better now. Kind of just take you off of here. So here's the whole setup there. You can see with the grid on my light right there. Shooting tethered. So everything is running through the computer here. And then when I take a picture, I can check. And then it will pop up. It's gonna look exactly the same, but right. So there it is. Got all the product right here. So camera setting wise, I'm at 250th, 6.3 and 100 ISO. And just making sure that the bags lay nice and flat. And I can take a picture with that. Because sometimes parts of the bags, the foil is kind of bent. So I have to make sure that it's bent up the right way so it doesn't catch the light in a weird spot. And then I might need to turn the bags to affect how the light is hitting it. And then, yeah, just keep going from here. So I think what I have to do now is take the jerky out of the bags and photograph that. I'll have to kind of combine three things together to get this product photo. Just because of the grease on the jerky on the bag, so I guess I'll open them up, smell the jerky, eat the jerky, and photograph it too. I'll have to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. So I'll get all of the bags open. Try to leave it as it is packaged to try and get that natural shape for the bag. And I guess I'll also have to open the small ones too, just so I can get that small size and get the same portion that they come in the bag. Alright, so I have a white tablecloth and I just put it on a cutting board just so it's rigid. So I'm gonna put the jerky on here. Not like that, but take it out of the bag and then take a picture. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. Can you smell it? No. Look at that. Just looks pretty good, huh? So I forgot to film the reshoot. I mean, it's just the same setup. What I actually did is I had the light actually over top of my camera pointing straight down, and then I had to photograph the bags, so I pushed the light to the side, and that helped get the glare off of the bags completely. There was just, you know, so it's not super reflective. Whoa, you're tipping down. There you go. So, and instead of it being all shiny like that, angling it right so we don't get that glare from the light. So I just shot those, finished that up, and now we're gonna go into Lightroom, organize them, edit them with simple edits, don't do something crazy. And then I'll try and Photoshop them into the bags, big bag and the small bag, and now I just have to Photoshop them together, put the labels on them so it's that clean label, and have to figure out how to make it look like that the beef jerky is in the bag rather than on top of this. Maybe put some sort of like white color in front of it and turn the opacity or the blend mode, or some sort of like paper texture or something to make it look like it's covered in plastic. I need to figure out how to create this effect. So kind of turn the contrast down, desaturate it, and put some sort of fuzziness on top of it. Maybe blur it a tad. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do. So we're in Lightroom here, and here is the I decided to do. Just try and get rid of as much background as possible. So here's the before and after. Bringing up the shadows really helped with the contrast or color of the jerky. So that really helped out there. And then I also added this graduated filter here, and that just helped. Here, let me turn that on and off. So that helped get rid of the fade from just that one light source from the left side. So that helped bring that side back up and add more color to the jerky. So then I just copied that and applied it to all of them, and I've already photoshopped most of them out. I just have 2 more to go, and so I'm going to show you how I do that. So working with Adobe, it all works together. You can just right click it and do edit in Photoshop. Right. So this is the big group for the honey teriyaki peppered beef jerky. So the best way that I found is to actually use Photoshop's new select subject, and that will quickly just choose the beef jerky because it's so white, it'll know exactly where to draw that line. Then I like to go and select a mask and go to the on black view, and that way I can then zoom in, get my refine edge brush here, and use that to paint back or get rid of that kind of white spots where it had trouble choosing it. So I kind of just go all around the edge of the jerky looking for places that need to be retouched, and I'll just paint that back, or get rid of it rather. Alright, then I like to make it all completely black, and I will select all these random bits and pieces and get rid of those. So just get rid of that pretty simply. And then I found to move the edge closer in, that's what moving it to the left does. It will move the edge closer into the beef jerky. And then up the feather just barely, and then give it some more contrast. That'll get rid of that edge there. So then click OK. We will then apply this as a layer mask. And then I like to center it. I don't want to resize it at all. Keep it as is. And then I have this background that I like to put it on just to see, kind of zoom back in, see how the mask looks. Maybe get rid of some pieces or paint back in the beef jerky, like right there. So just cleaning up that mask. So like right here, probably just get rid of that and make it look more clean. Even though it is beef jerky, so we still want some roughness to it. That's why there's those random pieces and stuff. Like right here, we don't want that. So paint that back in. And obviously this is mostly going to be viewed on white, so you would probably not even notice that stuff, but it's just an extra bit of detail that will make it look better. Then I have a sharpening mask, and I like to just put it at 50 for the beef jerky, so you can see what that does here. It just gives it a little more contrast, a little more sharpness. So then I'll do save as a PNG, so we get that transparent background. Go to final, label this as big group, hit save, click OK, and then it just popped up right here as the honey teriyaki peppered big group. So that means that it's the whole package grouped together there. And then for the other one, it's just one piece from that big group. So this is the exact same process. So this had some holes like over here, and right there you can see my finger. So just do whatever you use to Photoshop things out, and just take a sample from right there and then just paint it in. There's a little bit of glove here, a little blueness happening. Yeah, cool. I think that looks pretty good. Alright, so I've finished figuring out how to Photoshop this together. I wish I did a time lapse that would have looked good for a video. But I'll kind of walk you through all of my layers here. So I first had to make the full bag. So I pulled together this guy by blending that bag into it there. Then I lightened it up just a little bit, cleaned up the top of the bag there, turned it black and white, and just put the opacity to 220 to help with that blue color. And then we get rid of the label. Now I just tried, now we get rid of the label, so I just did this huge selection and also clean up the date down there. And then I add in the jerky. So I just control clicked and then made a black layer and turned that into a smart object and added a Gaussian blur. Making it a smart object will allow me to go back to it and change the blur if I so ever need to. And then I put it inside of the bag by just putting a white fill at 7%. And then I put the label on, do the same thing with the Gaussian blur to create depth. All right, see how that looks pretty good there. All right, so here is the finished Photoshop working file. If you caught, I had the wrong label. So I fixed it as opposed to just the same ones here because it's the smaller bag. So that's the 2.5 ounce. So as you can see, I have two different groups here that allow me to just easily change it out. So I color coded them too. So then I can just put it as the honey teriyaki peppered one, and that's the one of the jerky. So has the jerky, has the shadow there. And then I just have this layer, which is the empty bag. Right. I have that just going to this whole folder, so then every beef jerky has that overlay. So we kind of get that desaturated, that little bit of shine on the edge, like it's actually in the bag right here. So yeah, that's basically it. That's how I put these two together. It's just the exact same way for this one too. So just switch it out, then export it as a PNG so that they can put it on white or whatever background they need. Here is all of the finished products of them exported as PNGs. I still don't know why some are black, some are white, but it's still completely cut out. And then here's all the individual jerky pieces. So yeah, thanks for watching this one, guys. Hopefully you learned something. So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below and I'll be sure to answer them. I'll catch you guys in the next video.